Good morning, students. Like I told you in our previous class, we had started Nelson Mandela, and the extract that we are doing is from his autobiography, Long Walk to Freedom. I suppose I have already told you about what Long Walk to Freedom actually means. So, here it means a long awaited freedom, a long awaited freedom from the clutch of white supremacy over the blacks, a long awaited freedom from a biased system, a long awaited freedom from discrimination, the lack of humanity and all. Okay, and this came into a reality when the first democratic elections were held in South Africa, and Nelson Mandela, who had been fighting for a lifetime, he had been imprisoned for a long moment because he had fought against, he has spoken against, and that too in a non-violent method. He had fought back white discrimination towards the black or the colored. Now, it was 10th May when Nelson Mandela was to be sworn in as the first black South African president. Okay, and that is why it supposedly happened to be the most a very auspicious and much awaited moment for the entire South African nation. And not only that, it was also a global happening because the eyes or the ears of the public across the globe, they were just focused on hearing the first speech of this newly elected president, that is Nelson Mandela. In our previous class, I had explained you about, we had also discussed something about certain personal facts related to Mandela, and yes, we talked about where and which place the ceremony was to be staged. The ceremony, that is the oath taking ceremony of Nelson Mandela, was taking place, that is in Pretoria. And Pretoria, it's the place, that is the building where actually the occasion or the event was to be presented. That was called the Union Building. Okay, the Union Building, which basically comprises of three sections. Okay, the left offices, the right offices, and the center. In the center there is this amphitheater. Okay, what is an amphitheater? It is actually an open space, an auditorium where there is no roof. Okay, it's an open space, and generally it is meant to address a huge conglomeration of people, huge audience. So it is here that Nelson Mandela's oath taking ceremony was to be held. And this amphitheater, it was made of sandstone, red sandstone. That is what is very remarkable fact about the Union Building there, especially the amphitheater at Union Building, and that is very clear from the write-up of our Mandela. Now, Nelson Mandela, along with Nelson Mandela, two other leaders are to be sworn in. That is De Klerk and Becky. These two people, one was supposed to be Mr. De Klerk. He was to be supposedly sworn in as the second deputy president, and Becky, Thabo Mbeki, he was to be sworn in as the first deputy president. So three presidents are going to rule over this democratic government, where there is a place not only for the blacks but also for the white. And everybody's eyes, observant eyes, were focused upon this special event where the first black president was about to make his speech. And as we have seen in our previous class that Mandela, he was accompanied by his daughter. Okay, she was also there, and I had shown you the picture. Yes, this lady in red coat, she is the daughter of Mandela, and a huge crowd has gathered. The pictures show, these are real pictures from that particular day. Okay, and the real pictures, from the real pictures you can understand such a huge gathering there was. Okay, so today I would like to repeat from the speech itself. Okay, what was the speech? So let us see what is the speech. Today all of us do, by our presence here, that means our presence here today shows that we have collected here to confer glory. Confer means to offer glory, give glory. Okay, and hope to a newborn liberty. What has been referred to a newborn liberty? This newborn democratic nation which provides hope of a new kind of liberty, a liberty where there is equal share for both the blacks and whites. There is no biased system, or rather there is no discrimination that only 30% will be for the blacks and the remaining will be for the white. Nothing like that. There is no racial prejudice here, no space for racism. So this is the newborn liberty that Mandela is talking about. Out of the experience of an extraordinary human disaster that lasted too long. So he's recollecting of this long experience of human bondage and slavery. More than 300 years. South Africa, the nation, it has seen the discrimination that was going on between the white and the black. The white had complete control over the entire nation, the economics, the political system of the country, the social setup. There was stratification of the classes. Stratification means division of the classes, like high class and low class, rich and poor. So when there are these differentiations in class or differentiation in the society, what happens is that there exists an imbalance. Okay, the rich will be getting richer, whereas the poor will continue to remain poorer, or even get more poorer, or rather simply poorer. Okay, they won't get equal justice, they won't get equal share of happiness, their equal share of rights and opportunities. Yes, so whichever nation it is, whichever nation practices this system of segregation, can never be claimed to be a good nation. So today, by asserting claim over the presidentship elections, Nelson Mandela has shown to the world that a newborn liberty has born, okay, out of years of extraordinary human disaster. Extraordinary human disaster is the state of apartheid. Okay, apartheid, I suppose by now you have already understood what is apartheid. Racism. Okay, the white supremacy, where whites are given status, whereas blacks are simply considered to be underdogs. And this experience has given a lot of knowledge, a lot of strength to people like Mandela, the black people. So he says that out of these experience must be born a society of which all humanity will be proud. So from this experience we have learnt a lesson that in order for humanity to exist, each person living in the society must have equal right. So this is the birth of a new nation, this is the birth of a new liberty, and this is the birth of a new society. A society where there is no space for segregation or discrimination. Right? I suppose you have understood. Yes. And what he says next, let us see. We, he's talking about himself as well as many others who were along with him, okay, who supported this fight against white supremacy. We who were outlaws not so long ago have today been given that rare privilege. Rare means something that is difficult to be found. So the blacks or the colored people, they have won this privilege, this right to even stand in an election after a long time, after years of struggle. Okay, so that is why he's saying that it is a rare privilege, and today we have been given this rare privilege to be the host to the nations of the world on our own soil. So we are hosting, I as a black and my friends over here who are colored. Yes, Thabo Mbeki was also another very prominent person. I told you he is the first deputy president. So we have been given, we have been provided, and it is the elections, the people's choice. The people have decided to make him the president of South Africa. So we have been given this privilege, this honor to be the host. Host means a person who is who serves in the rather you can call who is holding a organization, or maybe he's the host, or rather what can we say, he is the person who will be holding the entire party or ceremony, be it at home or out in the public, right? So here Nelson Mandela is hosting a new government under the leadership of Nelson Mandela, a black man. He is hosting, or they are hosting, nations of the world. All those nations, irrespective of color, caste and creed, on our own soil. We thank all of our distinguished international guests for having come to take possession with the people of our country of what is, after all, a common victory for justice, for peace, for human dignity. So according to Nelson Mandela, his victory as the president of South African nation is not the victory of him alone. It is not the victory of his people alone. It is the victory, it's a common victory, it's a universal victory for all those people who believe in justice, who believe in peace, and who believe in human dignity. So that is why he takes this chance to offer his honor, offer his respect to all those special dignitaries, or rather special people, international guests who have come, the leaders, the world leaders, the politicians, the diplomats throughout the world, all have come to attend his function. So he thanks them with his whole heart. Yes, and thanks them specially because they have come to represent justice, peace and human dignity. By attending this function, all these leaders have shown that they are still with, they stand for justice, for peace and for human dignity, and that they are very happy. They are with Mandela and his people. Okay, we have at last achieved our political emancipation. We pledge ourselves to liberate our people from continuing bondage of poverty, deprivation, suffering, gender and other discrimination. So throughout the rule of the white leaders, the white government, there has been a lot of social discrimination, economic discrimination, political discrimination. Okay, not all people enjoyed all the rights and liberties as a South African nationalist. So he was actually voicing the concern of all these people who have not been given their due in the society, their respect in the society. So at last, this was the motive. This was what was the prime objective of Mandela. He wanted to establish political emancipation. What is the meaning of political emancipation? Emancipation means freedom or liberty, and political means when you get the right to vote, when you get the right to, stand in the elections, when you get the right to be a part of the political system. This is a very, very diplomatic situation. Okay, in our country India, you might have noticed that all of us, if we are not criminals, then all of us above a particular age limit, we have equal right to politics. We can play politics, we can be a part of the political system. There is no bias, there is no discrimination. At least we can stand. It's a different matter whether you are elected or not, or which political system you believe or not, but still we have the right to stand in the elections. We have the right to cast our vote, irrespective of the the political party that we maybe we follow or we trust in or we cast our vote. But in South Africa, under the rule of the whites, nothing like that existed. Okay, especially for the black people, the colored people, they did not have that liberty to choose their own political leaders. They did not have the right to cast their votes. They did not have the right to stand in the election. So for Nelson Mandela, this particular occasion is a special one because it symbolizes the achievement of South African political emancipation, and that is why he takes the chance to pledge. Pledge means to swear. He swears, he takes an oath that he and his followers, his government would be liberating all those South African nationalities, all those South African people, the countrymen, from this bondage, this restrictions of poverty. All these years there are many people who had been starving, who had not been given a chance to earn their bread properly with due respect. So today, from this day onwards, this line between the line that separates the rich from the poor, that would no more exist. So man would be free to earn his own bread, and they can overcome this condition of poverty. Deprivation means when you are kept away from your rights and obligations, your opportunities, when you are not given the rightful opportunity to be despite being a part of a nation or a system. So his people are now free from this state of not having the rightful benefits, the opportunities. Then he pledges that his government would liberate the people from years of suffering, all the hardships they had to face, the struggle they had to make due to white rule. His government would try to free his people from these years of toil and suffering. Gender is a very, very critical issue. As we know, gender, generally it is believed that there are just two genders, but then let me tell you that there are numerous, depending on our how the society takes it up or how we accept. Depending on culture, gender can be different, but irrespective of gender, irrespective of sex, people or human beings, they would be getting their rightful dues. And other discrimination, all other discrimination, like right to education, for example, boy or girl, first gender, second gender, or third gender, or maybe a homogendered person, homosexual person, he also would have a proper right to education. So his government, his people, they would try to dissolve all those problems that exist because of such discrimination in the nation, right? And he swears that never, never and never again shall it be that this beautiful land will again experience the oppression of one by another. So it was a very cruel and brutal history that South Africa had faced more than 300 years. But today, this is the day where we pledge, where we swear that never again in South Africa this system of oppression will re-exist. So it is a closed chapter, he says, and from today we are going to work as brothers. Okay, brotherhood would be the theme. The sun shall never set on so glorious a human achievement. So metaphorically he suggested, just like the sun keeps on shining high in the sky, every day the sun shines bright. Similarly, this glory that has been achieved, this glorious state of human achievement, the freedom, the liberty, the equality, the rightful, human dignity that we have won, this justice, the state of justice and peace that we have won, that will never set again. So always, forever, this land has been freed from the dark clutch of oppression, slavery, and suffering. Okay, so it is a state of emancipation from all sides. So this is what Nelson Mandela says, and he closes his speech by saying, "Let freedom reign. God bless Africa." So freedom is the main thing that should be there. Man should be free to make his choices. Man should be free to do his work. Man should be free to think. Okay, so he wishes that, I just wish, let freedom reign. Freedom should be the ruling theme. Freedom should rule. Freedom should be the main concept. Okay, so God bless Africa. He prays that the eyes of, or the blessings of Almighty be showered upon Africa and its people. So that is how he ends up his glorious speech. A very, very remarkable speech. And he talks about how first of all he addresses all the dignitaries respectfully, and then he assures his fellow countrymen that there will be an anti-racist government under his rule. Okay, and he assures that in this new government people would have equal rights and opportunities. He took a vow stating that in this new democratic nation there would be no discrimination of people. People would have equal share of respect and also the freedom to exist as human beings. So this lovely day and his inaugural speech was a very, very symbolic one and for all. Then let us move on to the next paragraph. A few moments later, we all lifted our eyes in awe. Awe means surprise, or something that astounds you, astounding. Their eyes were extreme feeling of what you can say, fear, and also eye-catching moment. Okay, awe, you are totally taken aback. Okay, that is awe. Awe as the spectacular array of South African jets, helicopters, and troop carriers roared in perfect, roaring means the sound made by the jets and the helicopters and the carriers, in perfect formation over the Union Building. So you might have noticed, like when we have our Republic Day parade, then towards the closure there is a beautiful display in the sky. The Indian, what you can say, our Air Force, the Indian Air Force, it displays a spectacular array. What is the meaning of spectacular array? Something that is a show that is impressive, colorful, stupendous, eye-catching. So these are the words that you can associate, something that that is so very attractive. Okay, a very strong, colorful display. So similarly, just like we have in our Republic Day parades, there will be helicopters and there will be jets performing in the sky, and the skies will be roaring with the sound created by the jets. And there will be a display of colors. The jets, they will be showing out, or leaving colored gases, and that would generally be in the form of the tricolor, our national flag. So similarly here, these African jets, they also made perfect formation. Probably it was trying to present the South African flag. Okay, it is not only a display of pinpoint precision and military force, but a demonstration of the military's loyalty to democracy, to a new government that had been freely and fairly elected. Only moments before, the highest generals of the South African Defence Force and police, their chests bedecked with ribbons and medals from days gone by, saluted me and pledged their loyalty. The same people who had actually captured, or who were under the, they have no other choice actually. The defense system, the entire defense mechanism, it works under the control of the government formed, right? So for the white government, Nelson Mandela was a rebel, and he was treated like that. He was not given respect, rather he was considered to be anti-nationalist, and that is why he was put behind the bars all the time. Now the same people, the same generals, the same leaders, the same people of the military and the air force, they are avowing, they are showing their respect. And showing the respect how? By saluting Mandela and also taking a pledge. The display they have shown with the through the remember the spectacular aircraft presentation that was being shown? It was not only a display but also a way of showing the army and the air forces loyalty towards the newly formed government, that is Mandela's government, right? And during that time, probably Mandela, he remembers those old days when he was how he was being treated by these what you can say, these forces of the government. I was not unmindful of the fact that not so many years before they would not have saluted but arrested me. Finally, a chevron of Impala jets left a smoke trail of the black, red, green, blue and gold of the new South African flag. So what was being shown? A beautiful, the beautiful the colors of the national flag of South Africa. I will show you the flag later, of course. All those colors that consisted or that were combined to make the national flag of South Africa. It was a new flag. The previous one is a different one, which was under the white regime. But this new South African flag, it represented all the colors, the various shades of people, okay, the various shades of people, and all these colors were being cast. How it was cast? It was cast in a kind of smoke trail, the smoke trail that was left by the Impala jets. Impala is a brand, okay, just like we have our MiG or maybe the Rafale, for example. Similarly, Impala. So these Impala jets, they came in a pattern. Chevron means the V shape. Okay, so in the chevron of Impala jets, they left a smoke trail of black, green. What are the colors? You have to remember the colors of the South African flag: black, green, blue, red and gold. These are the colors which combine to make the new South African flag. And during this display, during this wonderful moment, he remembered the past bygone days, how he was treated like an inhuman. He was not treated like a human, rather he was treated like a traitor, a betrayer, because he was voicing the concerns of his country people, okay, his countrymen, his fellow beings who were dark in color. Now this is how Mandela thinks about, or rather how he tries to connect his past with the present. Okay, we'll look into the next paragraph in the next video.